old McPherson struts that have electronics and hydraulics inside them. And being so complex, of course, they're expensive as can be. The systems have gone a long way since I was a young mechanic. No longer do cars all have simple shock absorbers with a bolt on the top, a bolt on the bottom. Engine parts have rubber seals or rubber bushings in them. Over time, these things are going to rot, crack, leading to really expensive repairs.
Did you know ignoring one small maintenance step could cost you over $3,600 on suspension repairs? In today's video, I'll reveal the shocking truth behind this overlooked mistake and how a simple $10 habit can save you thousands. Stick around. This one tip might be the easiest car-saving hack you've ever heard. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Over the years, I've used this AT205 reseal. It's just a clear polymer. It looks just like water. It rejuvenates rubber, keeps it pliable so it doesn't crack. Now I've filled this old spray bottle with the AT205 reseal, dust from getting inside the power steering. So a few times a year, get the AT205 reseal, spray it all over the boot.
Did you know that one simple, everyday habit could cut your suspension's lifespan by years? Most car owners think suspension failure is an unavoidable part of owning a vehicle, but the reality is that small mistakes, ones you might not even realize you're making, are quietly wearing down your car's most essential components. Let's break down these hidden culprits behind suspension damage and how you can stop them before they cost you a fortune. One of the biggest offenders? Carrying too much weight in your trunk. Every pound you pile in compresses the springs and shocks, forcing them to work overtime. Over time, that constant pressure reduces their flexibility, leading to sagging suspension, poor handling, and even uneven tire wear.
You want to keep the right amount of air in your tires, and you want to watch your tires to make sure they're not wearing out oddly. These things flex in and up. They often take just as much shock away from the car as the shock absorbing system. If your tire is worn badly, out of balance, it shakes a lot at speeds, it's going to wear things out faster.
Imagine driving on tires with worn edges because your suspension couldn't absorb the load properly. It's the kind of expense that sneaks up on you, and all because you never emptied that toolbox or gym bag from the trunk. Now, aggressive driving is another silent suspension killer. A study found that frequent hard braking, abrupt turns, and speeding over rough terrain can reduce coil spring lifespan dramatically, from decades of reliable service to as little as just 2 to 3 years. Think about that. What could have been a 20-year investment gone in the blink of an eye, simply because you drive your car like it's on a racetrack when it's clearly not built for that kind of stress?
Suspension system is your power steering. If you've got a car that has hydraulic power steering, of course, check the fluid every once in a while. That's clean. It's got a yoga mat, a little box with a few tools in it. Don't carry a lot of excess weight. Diver instructor, and he always had big old scuba diving tanks lying in the trunk. That really weighed it down and things wore out faster.
Taking care of your suspension is a lot like taking care of a good pair of shoes. Skip the polish, leave them out in bad weather, and they'll wear out faster, costing you more in replacements. The same principle applies here. By ignoring the small things, like how much weight your shocks carry or the wear and tear of harsh road conditions, you're shortening your car's lifespan. Here's the good news. There's a $10 product and a handful of simple habits that could add years to your suspension. Start by reducing trunk weight and braking gently. Next, I'll reveal a mechanic's secret trick that costs less than your morning coffee but saves you thousands. What if I told you a $3 product could potentially save you thousands in suspension repairs? It sounds too good to be true, but the reality is that most car owners overlook this incredibly simple trick. The secret lies in protecting the most vulnerable parts of your suspension, the rubber seals and bushings. These components may be small, but when they fail, the damage spreads, and that's when the repair bills skyrocket.
To replace it if it cracks, so a little preventive maintenance goes a long way. And on the top of the strut, the same thing. That'll keep the rubber nice and supple. It's a royal pain in the rear end taking all the suspension apart. This is a dust shield. Spray it every once in a while. It'll keep the rubber nice and supple so it won't crack. And you can do the same here.
Here's the problem. Rubber parts don't last forever. They're constantly exposed to heat, dirt, moisture, and even road salt in the winter. Over time, these factors harden and crack the rubber, which leads to tears, leaks, and, before you know it, catastrophic failures. For example, if the bushings in your lower control arms give out, you could be facing a repair bill upward of $1,300. And that's just one part of the suspension. Ignoring maintenance on these components is like ignoring cracks in your foundation. You may not see the damage right away, but it's only a matter of time before it becomes a costly problem.
You can spray the rubber boot there to keep it from cracking. And hiding inside here are rubber control arm bushings. On the torsion bar, right here. And of course here's the CV axle. You want to keep them nice and lubricated with the AT205 reseal. Because if that control arm goes bad,
that's where a product like AT205 comes in. It's a rubber conditioner designed to keep seals and bushings supple, flexible, and far less prone to cracking. By applying this to key areas like CV axles, strut mounts, and control arm bushings just twice a year, you're effectively giving these components a second life. The data on this is compelling. Consistent use of rubber conditioners can extend the lifespan of these parts by years. A quick application in the spring and fall could mean avoiding major suspension repairs entirely. And let's not forget, modern cars rarely include grease fittings anymore. This means there's no simple way to re-grease moving parts, making rubber conditioners even more essential in maintaining flexibility. Skipping this step doesn't just cost money, it could put your safety at risk if a critical component fails while you're driving. For just a couple of dollars and a few minutes of your time, this preventative step pays for itself many times over. Speaking of keeping your ride smooth, there's another maintenance habit that's just as critical: regular wheel alignment. Let's talk about why that matters next. Proactive maintenance isn't just about avoiding repair bills, it's your key to driving a reliable, safer car for years to come. Skipping simple steps like conditioning rubber seals or keeping your trunk light can turn into costly mistakes. Remember what we've seen. A $3,600 repair caused by rough driving or a $1,400 coil spring replacement isn't just inconvenient, it's avoidable with small habits today. Inspect your suspension, use that $3 product, and adopt smarter driving choices now. These minor efforts could mean the difference between a car that serves you for a decade and one that fails far too soon.